and then
Great.
I'll be able to pull him in as an attendee.
Perfect.
There he is. More. Promote to panelist. There we go. That should work. Get Matthew on. There
Here
we
he
go.
is.
Beautiful. I'm going to put y'all up top. All right. We got about a little less than 3 minutes before we get started.
Yeah.
What's up, Matt?
What's going
Matthew.
on, guys?
Hey, man. Now I'm going to make you a co-host as well. That way you have full control over everything. Will y'all be sharing a PowerPoint or
We
website or
will.
anything? You want to
Yeah,
test that real quick?
let's
Make
do
sure
it.
we're good. You should have full control and also be able to see all the Q&A in the chats.
How does that look, guys?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Sweet.
If you want, we can just leave it right here. We can
Yeah.
just start with it on the slide.
Let's do that.
So I'll just do a brief introduction, housekeeping, welcome, give you guys some props, and then I'll just pass it to Andrew, right? Pass it to Andrew, and then you'll do your thing. Y'all gonna do your role play and stuff. While you're doing your thing, I'm here, but I'm gonna take my camera off.
Okay.
I've been told that my good looks are distracting. Don't laugh at that. That's not a joke. That's not a joke, man. I'm just kidding. But I'll take my camera off. I'll take my camera off. But I'm here. I'm here the whole time. You think we'll go what about 40 minutes, 50 minutes, full hour?
I'm thinking just to make it like a bang for a small amount of time. I'm thinking like 30 minutes. We just keep it
Cool.
keep them engaged. Like usually when these go longer than 30 minutes, you can kind of like lose them. So I'm going to keep it 30 minutes, hit them with a lot of great information, hit them with some promos at the end, and then we ride from there.
Beautiful. Very good.
Sweet.
Well,
And
guys,
we pump this out to
Mhm.
our team as well. So we should have a lot of smart financial clients in here just to add value for like what we do. And then they'll be able to get in front of you as well. So if since there are going to be so many people in here that aren't a part of the Craig Wiggins organization, maybe you say a line or two about what you do and why we're here. And I think that would be great.
Absolutely. Are y'all cool if I stream this to our Facebook page and then also share it to our Facebook groups?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on, let me do this real quick then.
Cool.
Let's see here. I'm going to share this to public on a page. Share it to Craig Wiggins Coaching. All right. So we got about 30 seconds or so before I click go live, about 45 seconds before we officially start. Thank you all for jumping on. Y'all send us a chat, say hello, send us a chat. And guys, if you ever want to try to reply to a chat, just make sure that you click on the little blue box, the little blue button to choose to chat everyone. I don't know why it defaults to just host and panels. I guess we can just talk independently, but sometimes admins are like trying to like reply to chats and nobody sees it. So, all right, here we go. Here we go. We got about 20 seconds. Let me go ahead and click go live on the Facebook. See, I still call it the Facebook. That's how old I am. The Facebook. Remember? You ever watch Social Network, that movie?
Right.
And Justin Timberlake says, drop the, right? Drop the.
He was the Napster guy. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. And dude, my wife's birthday is June 10th. And Justin Timberlake has a concert in Atlanta. We got tickets last night. I'm only going to have to sell one of my kids to pay for it. It's insane. But it's her birthday. She's turning 40. And we're going to see Justin Timberlake. So anyways, that's maybe thinking about the Facebook. All right, here we go. We are streaming crud. Are we streaming live on the Facebook? Hold on. Let me check the Facebook real quick, y'all. Hold on a second. Okay, we're streaming live. Let me make sure it's muted. There we go. Here we go. And for the recording's sake, in 3, 2, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and learn with us. We are very fortunate to have some fantastic partners, or a fantastic partner of Craig Wiggins Coaching, Smart Financial, my friend Andrew, my friend Matthew. They're going to be here today to go over how you and your team can close more of their leads and all of your leads, not just their leads, but more of your leads. You know, ladies and gentlemen, team members out there, we are not paid to quote. No. We are paid to close, right? And I'll say this to team members out there watching. Be grateful that your agency owner invests in leads for you. You know, I work with about 50 agencies personally all across the country. We've got about 1,500 in our programs, but I personally work with about 50. You know, I work with some agencies, they don't have much of a lead budget. They don't do a lot. They're doing a lot of cold calling, and they're working like win backs and requotes and cross sells, which should be a part of every agency's plan. But if you work at an agency that's investing in leads for you, whether they're internet leads, live transfers, direct mail, whatever, be grateful. Be grateful. Now, let's just address an elephant in the room. Are all leads perfect and amazing? Is every single lead going to have the best credit score, clean record, married homeowner, the 37 years old with no young drivers, never had a ticket? No, y'all. I call it like this, man. You got to dig through the dirt to find the gold. You're going to have some bad leads here and there. You're going to have customers that lie. They're going to go online and request insurance quotes and say, yeah, I got a clean record and I've had insurance for 5 years. And then you run the reports and it's like Maury Povich, right? They run the reports. You are the father, right? We run the reports. You're a bad driver, dude. You suck, right? You have current insurance. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is a lot of leads are junky, and just be aware of that. What we have to do is dig through the dirt to find the gold and be grateful that your agency owner is investing in you and giving you these opportunities. But today, for the next 30, 40 minutes or so, these guys are going to teach you how to close more. And guess what? If you close more, maybe we'll be able to get more, right? You want more leads? Let's close them, baby. So with that said, I want to thank you for your partnership, Smart Financial. We use Smart Financial at Craig Wiggins Agencies for several years, and y'all have been one of our most consistent partners over the years. And I just want to thank you for all that you do for CWC, but most importantly, what you do for our member agencies. And by the way, God, I could go on all day. I'm gonna pass it to you in a second, Ron. Excuse me, Andrew. If you're out there and you're like, who's this weird dude from Alabama? Who's this guy yelling at me right now at 1:33 p.m. Central on a Tuesday afternoon? My name is Joseph Puckett. I've been in the insurance industry since 2009, started my own Allstate agency in 2009. 2011, I decided I could do much better working for Craig Wiggins. Within 3 or 4 months, I was running his smallest agency. Within 14 months, I ran all three. We grew from about 10 million in premium to over 40 million in premium. And we've been coaching and consulting at this level since 2015. So if you're new to me, if you're new to CWC, that's who we are. If you're not a member of Craig Wiggins Coaching, just quick plug, check us out, craigwigginscoaching.com. But with that said, Andrew, Matthew, thank you. Take it away, my man.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joseph. My name is Andrew Rasan. I'm our Director of Strategic Partnerships here with Smart Financial. I have my colleague, Matthew Dugan, our Strategic Account Specialist. And we're so excited to be here. I mean, we love partnering with Craig Wiggins and Joseph and the organization. It just gives so much value to our current client base. So we're very happy to be partnered. And we've got some amazing content for you guys here today. At the end of this presentation, we are going to be giving away some discounts for the constituents within the Craig Wiggins organization, as well as some free lead credit. But the content that we're going to be going over today is going to be applicable, as Joseph said, for any of the lead services that you're working with. We want to instill more structure, processes, salesmanship into your agencies, because Matt and I, we may look young. We are young, but we've been with Smart Financial, both of us consecutively, for over about 6 years. And we've hand in hand worked with agents, helped them sell, identified the gaps in their processes, because Matt and I manage hundreds of agents over the last 6 years. And we see visibly the difference in the successful agents, like the Craig Wiggins organization and some of the constituents there. And then maybe some of the agents that haven't been finding as much success. And we see the clear difference between the two. It falls back on the processes, because, as Joseph said, leads are never going to be perfect. They're never going to be the ideal person, probably ever, right? So we have to be able to work with that and really understand that it's about what we're doing with the lead. And yes, follow-up, persistence, call cadences, those are very important. But one of the most important things to making the sale and really differentiating yourself from that weak producer is objection handling, and being very, very strong with that, having conviction, confidence, and being resilient, because that's the main piece that we see that is, aside from, we dial our leads. Of course, we're dialing them X amount of times, and, we're using Lead Manager, and we have all this technology, but are you overcoming those objections and being confident behind it and bringing the energy? So that's what we're going to be discussing here today. We went ahead and picked some very common objections and dove in to them and have some role play here for you guys. But before we get into that, we need to talk about the keys to success, right? What are the keys to success when it comes to overcoming objections? Well, the first thing that I see with my own sales team that I try to help them with is pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. That's, I think, one of the most important things, because if you cannot use that muscle in your brain that makes you have conversations that you may not want to have, that are maybe conflicting or confrontational, then you will never make sales. because we in this business are not order takers. We're salespeople, right? And salespeople, they have to ask for the business. They have to take the no and turn it into a yes. And that is very difficult for some people to do. I mean, you have to really push yourself out of your comfort zone and get in the right mindset that I am going to get these no's and I know it, and I'm going to push myself through it, right? So if I ever hear from a rep that, oh, my biggest challenge is just, pushing myself because like I don't like having those conversations. Like I like it when things are peachy keen and rainbowy, and that's not all 100% sales, right? We have to bring the grit to what we're doing in a professional way. You don't want to conflict and really contradict this person. You want to do it in a professional way where you're consulting, but you're also, in a way disagreeing with what that consumer is saying, right? So push yourself out of your comfort zone. Tell people things that they may not want to hear. Ask for the business. These are things that are going to strengthen that part of your brain that allows you to do things that you don't want to do, right? It's like almost like discipline. So do your best to set your mindset, set the stage, and push yourself out of your comfort zone. Really important too is bring that consistency. Bring the energy and use your rebuttals every time an objection is presented, not just when you feel like it. I see this with my own sales team that maybe first thing in the morning, they just got their coffee, they're all excited, they're using their rebuttals. Then by lunchtime, they lost steam and they're not using their rebuttals anymore, and they're not as excited or bringing the energy. Why is that? Well, because they may not be feeling it. Maybe their coffee wore off or whatever it is. But when you're consistent with it, when I see the reps that are like, no, I'm going to use the same rebuttals and the same energy that I used on this time of day, at the end of the day, in the middle of the day, whenever, because that consistency is going to drive me to success. You see this energy that I'm portraying right now. This is the same energy that I bring onto my cold calls if I'm ever cold calling. This is the same energy I bring into training to show my agents, to show my sales reps what it looks like to really be consistent with that high energy and be able to captivate the audience that's in front of you. And even if it's one person, because it's a one-on-one sales call, you still have to bring the energy to captivate this person and be consistent with it. Rebuttals are not going to work every time. They're just not. They're not designed to work every time. Rebuttals work enough times for you to use the rebuttal every single time an objection is presented. Maybe it works 1 out of 10 times, 1 out of 20 times. That means you should still use it every single one of those times, right? That consistency is what's going to lead you to the result that you need to see, which is the return on the investment when you're spending money on leads, whoever the lead service is. The next key is we have to pull pain points. That's usually during the discovery phase in the beginning. You can kind of pull out, wait, what has you looking for insurance? What do you like about your current service? What didn't you like about the experience? All that kind of stuff is what you can pull and then use. And many times you can use that pain point towards the end of the presentation when they use an objection. Well, sir, you told me this, and that. Did that change within the last 10 minutes that we talked? And you stick them with your pain point and you say, this is what's going to fill your needs for XYZ. Is that still important to you? As you mentioned to me, we're using the pain points to stab them, right? And I think this is the most important thing behind all of this is having ultimate confidence in yourself, your agent, as an agent, and your agency's value. That's what's going to drive you to push yourself out of your comfort zone. If you truly believe and you know that I'm really wanting to earn your business, not because I want to add a number to my policies and get revenue and make a sale so I can go home and eat a steak dinner because I'm out. No, I'm doing this because I know that if you go forward with another service, they're not going to meet the care that I have. And I believe that. I truly believe that. And that's what's pushing myself out of my comfort zone to ask for the business, to overcome the no's. That's what's bringing the energy. That's the belief that is going to stick them with pain points. It's the ultimate confidence. So if we don't believe in what we do and we don't have conviction, my advice to the agent owners, if there's a producer that is having trouble with that confidence and that belief, share with them stories, experiences. Stories sell. Storytelling sells. And if you can use these stories, because they might not have experience, they might be a new producer that doesn't have anything to pull from to say, this is why coverage is so important. And this is why you need Allstate or Farmers or State Farm over an independent. This is why. They might not have that. Do your best as an agent owner to do story time with them. Share with them what all these different scenarios that you've helped people through. And we're actually going to get to some storytelling here in the scripting, just to give you guys an example. But let's make sure that we're setting our minds straight with the right mindset, so that we can really bring it when we come to these cold calls. Because as much as we're buying leads, and yes, they should be hot all the time, it's not always going to happen, right? We have to use our salesmanship in many of these cases. Let's take a look at some stats. These are some pretty insightful stats that I felt like were pretty important to share. 60% of customers say no at least 4 times before saying yes. This is actually from Gong. Gong is a great platform. We use it at our business. 4 times, at least 4 no's. Many producers, they get stuck after the first no, the second no. The person says, I'm not interested. The person says, that's too high, or whatever it is, and they kind of give up after a couple no's. We hear it on the calls. We hear when we sell warm transfers and web leads, but the warm transfers, we can listen in on the calls, and we're hearing a couple no's come up, and then the producer kind of gets disarmed and they don't know what to do, right? If we know that the majority of the time the person's going to say no at least 4 times before they say yes, we've got to count those no's. And we've got to get excited for those no's, because as we all have heard before, each no is going to lead you towards a yes. So get excited, tally it, but most importantly, don't get discouraged when you hear a no. You are going to hear no's. Rejection is the name of this game. If we're buying 100 leads and we convert at 5% and we're happy with the return on the investment, we got rejected 95% of the time and we're happy with the investment. Get prepared for it, because that is what sales is, right? So again, setting the stage, setting your mindset to be prepared for stuff like this. A case study examined 250,000 sales calls. And this is from Compete. Compete's another great platform. A case study examined 250,000 sales calls, and rebuttals were successful 30% of the time that they were used. That is fantastic. That's 1 out of 3 times that you're using a rebuttal, it lands, and you're able to overcome the objection. Even if it works 1 out of 10 times and it's a 10% success rate, you should still be using it, right? You can't get discouraged when rebuttals don't land. They're not going to land all the time, but they land enough times, right, to make sense out of this. Another really unique stat is top performing salespeople follow up with a question 54% of the time when they're presented with an objection. That is a great stat, because I think that asking the question is a great way to get the consumer thinking, and they will devalue that objection themselves sometimes when they think about your question. Sometimes asking a question is the best way to make the consumer understand that their objection may not have been a real objection, or it may have been a smokescreen, like those smokescreen objections. So you can set a precedent without actually saying a contradictory comment. You're asking a question that makes the consumer realize it themselves. So question asking as a rebuttal is one of the best ways to rebut. So we've got a couple examples here, but let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's start scripting, going over the verbiage that we've seen work really, really well to overcome these common objections. Many of you guys are Allstate agencies. I know there's some Farmers, some State Farms, some maybe independent agents out there. If you are looking for a preferred driver and you're one of those companies that has great coverage and it's going to be a little bit more of an investment for the consumer, you need this. You need to be able to use this talk path, because you're not the cheapest. Allstate, not the cheapest in the industry for really good reason, right? It's because you're actually giving value. You're actually giving coverage, right? So let's play out this scenario. Matt, you are the consumer and you're going to tell me what?
Your quote's too high.
Oof. Okay. I hear you. Well, appreciate you letting me know that, Matt. When you say my quote is too high, what exactly are you comparing it to? Right?
Well, I'm getting a cheaper quote through X company right now.
Okay. Understood. Well, would you mind if I took a look at that competing quote just to see if what I can do is better for you? So right now, what we're gonna do is the consumer's gonna show me the quote, right? Very rarely in economics is something gonna have more of a cost without the added value, right? Very rarely in economics is that the truth. So we're going to go ahead and identify what piece of this coverage did this person miss, okay? And I know you guys see where I'm going with this, but you may not see the end, the final point. So that's why I'm sharing this. So yes, we have to identify that coverage. You know what, Matt? Appreciate you sharing with me that quote. It looks like we're missing coverage on this quote. Is that important to you to have on your insurance policy?
Not really. I mean, I'm just looking for cheapest price. I never get into accidents or feel like I need insurance. I'm a really safe driver.
This one's a teeth gritter, right? Because we all get this. Consumers think they're immune. They are just looking for the cheapest price. They want to check off a box. So this coverage is important to you, or this coverage should be important. You see how that might not be the final point, right? We need to push a little bit further to identify what this person actually needs. Okay, they don't care about the coverage, right? This is very clear that coverage is not important. He thinks he never gets in accidents. We get this so often, and we have to know how to overcome it. So at this point, the sales rep says, okay, no problem. You barely get in accidents. You're looking for the cheapest price. It sounds like price is the most important thing to you when going with an insurance policy. And you know what? I don't blame you. So what we're doing is we're agreeing with them. That's always what's best to do. You always want to agree with them, and continue the conversation. So I don't blame you. It's been tough for everyone financially lately, right? I mean, we're almost started a recession in the last couple of years. Inflation's going crazy. So it's been tough financially for everyone lately. But let me ask, when you save money, would you prefer to save money in the long term or the short term?
Tell me, Matt. I suppose I'd like to save money in the short term. I mean, long term, not short term.
In the long term, right? Yeah, no, same here. I mean, I think we all would. And what I want to tell you, Matt, is my customers actually end up saving more money in the long run with Allstate coverage or Farmers coverage or Progressive coverage rather than the lower coverage option that you've received. Let me explain. So what we're doing here is we've identified that this person is price conscious, and we are explaining to this person that, you know what, you're actually going to save money in the long run with Allstate rather than what you're taking a look at, which may save you money in the short term. Now you're going to give a little bit more clarity. A lower coverage option, Matt, it might save you money in the short term. I mean, I get it. Like you mentioned, you may not need to utilize the insurance policy for the first 6 months or so, and maybe you were saving just a little bit incrementally, month over month. But what happens when you actually need the insurance, right? I know you mentioned you rarely have any issues on the road, but believe me, many of my customers say that and then end up being grateful that they had the coverage, because we are not immune to disasters happening. I mean, just this week, Matt, how many accidents did you see on the road or people pulled over with issues?
I mean, I've seen a few,
right? I mean, without my coverage, you end up paying out of pocket when something like that happens. And like I said, I mean, it may not happen within the first 6 months or even a year of the policy, but when something does happen, because it always does, you will end up paying more than you may be able to afford. So let me share with you a quick story about one of my customers, right? So now it's storytelling time. Their neighbor, and actually, guys, believe it or not, this actually did happen to Matt Dugan here about 3 or 4 years ago. We did a GoFundMe and we helped him out because he didn't get anything covered. So this is a real story. And we should be using real stories. We shouldn't have to make anything up. These real stories are powerful. And when it's real and it's authentic and they can hear it in your voice, it lands, right? So this is real. Matt's neighbor left a cigarette on the coffee table. It ended up starting a fire that didn't just take down the neighbor's house. It traveled to Matt's house, burned Matt's whole house down. And luckily he was out of the house. Him and his wife, Amy, were out of the house. But unfortunately, they actually did lose everything, right? The policy that they had didn't cover even 60% of the losses that they faced. And Matt was so upset. Matt was like, I should have gotten a renter's policy. He didn't own the home. Should have gotten a renter's policy and checked his boxes. In reality, that monthly cost of a renter's policy that he needed would have cost exponentially less than what he ended up paying out of pocket. And this is exactly why, back in the state of the Allstate agent, this is why my customers are so happy paying just a little bit more monthly for my Allstate policy. Let's go ahead and get you the right coverage, right? These stories land, especially when they're real. I mean, you're the agents on this call, you have dozens of these stories, right? So what we have to explain to this consumer is, I get it. I get your mindset and I support it because we're all human and we all are victims of thoughts like that. But let me protect you and your family and give you peace of mind when something happens, not if something happens. This is a perfect example that Matt thought he never would need this. And you're darn sure Matt's got a policy now. And it's really because he was a victim of having that same thought that I don't need insurance, nothing really bad ever happens. We have to
even
remind
more
people.
so over, I had insurance, but it's about paying that extra coverage to make sure that you're covered in case something does happen. I had insurance. I thought we were okay, but then you never know. Something like that happens, a crazy incident. Next thing you know, everything's gone and 60% is covered and the rest you got to figure it out. And so I think the biggest point here is, I'd rather pay more to make sure that I'm covered and save in the long term than to save incrementally in this short term and have something go wrong and not be taken care of.
Exactly. Because Matt ended up coming to the company for money too, which we're happy to do. Of course, we did a GoFundMe and we would do that for any of our employees, but he wouldn't have had to do that if he had insurance, the right insurance, right? So he ended up paying more out of pocket with our help and with, he probably got family's help and all that kind of stuff than he would have if he paid just a little bit more on a monthly basis. These are the kind of things that we have to be so confident about, have so much conviction about, and believe that if they don't go with your package, that they are making a mistake and you're also not doing a great job as an agent conveying that they're making a mistake, right? That's the kind of attitude. When I hear these agents on the phone, these mega agents with Allstate and large one farmers, and I hear them overcoming these objections, it's night and day. The conviction, the confidence, the tonality, the energy. And that's what we're trying to translate to this group right here, is that if we can streamline these things and change our attitude and change our mindset and be consistent with it, it's going to change your agency. Let's go to the next objection. Love it, because this is so common. And again, many of these are across any industry, right? But this is, geared towards insurance. So listen, Matt, why don't you hit me with this objection?
Yeah, I'd like to think about it. I'd like to get some other quotes before I make my decision.
Okay. Sounded a little bit like a robot, but that's okay. We'll get past it, R2D2. So you know what? As a shopper myself, I can respect that, right? Again, we're agreeing and we're acknowledging and we're putting ourselves in their shoes, and we don't want to completely contradict them, right? So as a shopper myself, I can respect that. But usually by this point in the conversation, my customers have all the information that they typically need to make a decision. Is there a sticking point that's holding you back from getting covered today? Because this is a smokescreen objection, right? I'd like to think about it and get some more quotes before I make a decision. That's not a real objection. We need to get through and figure out what exactly is it, right, that you need to think about, because it's something. Or maybe if they want to go shop around more, it means we didn't check off all their boxes. So we need to ask them what part of their needs we didn't meet. So got it. I just want to make sure I'm doing right by you, Mr. Consumer. What part of your needs have I not already taken care of with this quote? And then they can kind of give you something, right? Because listen, Matt, if this quote took care of all your needs, you would already get started on the insuring process with me, right? So what you're telling me is that this didn't really fulfill all your needs, and I need to be better. So why don't you share with me what it is so I can be better for you and your family?
I want to see if I can get a better rate for this coverage.
Right? Many of them are probably going to say that. And at this point, now we're not selling the need for coverage. Now we're probably just selling our brand, the Allstate brand, the Farmers brand, the State Farm brand. So let me give you an example of how we would come at it, and what we've heard from other agents that are doing this successfully is they use their brand by saying, okay, thanks for sharing that, Matt. And I can appreciate that as a shopper myself. I do have to let you know, though, Allstate is not one of the biggest and fastest growing insurance companies for no reason. We have the highest claim satisfaction rate in the industry because as a brand, we pride ourselves on quickly delivering on the coverage that you need. And my customers love working with me because I truly care about their issues and really do go above and beyond to take care of them. I know it may seem insignificant now, but when you actually do need something, you're going to be so glad that you move forward with my Allstate agency. You really can't put a price on the level of care that I'm ready to give you. Can you appreciate that, Matt?
I mean, yeah, I can appreciate that.
Right? Well, let's go ahead and save you some time looking around at other options, and let's get you covered. Is this the best phone number to add onto your policy? We're pushing through, right? And again, it might not work. They might say, yeah, I still want to shop around, right? But it is going to work enough times for you to bring it, for you to bring the energy, for you to be consistent with these rebuttals, right? What we're doing here is selling the value of the corporation, because there is huge value there. I mean, if claims can be delivered quicker than the other, that's huge value. Yourself, if you're more attentive as an agent to take a call and you're going to go to bat for this consumer with claims, and you're going to be on the phone and you're going to be working back and forth, that is something that not all these agents would do. If you know that about yourself and you truly believe that about yourself and you have that conviction, it translates. I can't express it enough. The sales reps that believe, the sales reps that push themselves through those no's because they believe, they're the ones that see success. So let's get to the last objection here. And then we're going to get to some really fun special price points for the Craig Wiggins organization. All right. So send me a quote by email. I want to take a look at it, right? Again, it's going to happen all the time. Absolutely, right? First thing we always got to do in all of these scenarios is agree and acknowledge, right? Absolutely. I would be happy to do that. I'll go ahead and send this out now. And since we've identified that you do need X coverage, let's go ahead and start the insuring process. In regards to the payment, will we be using a credit card or a checking account? We're assuming the sale. We're assuming the sale because just because they want to take a look at the email does not mean that they don't want to move forward. Some people just want to take a look at the things that they're signing up for. And just because they want to take a look at it doesn't mean that they have an objection. That doesn't mean there's an objection there. So again, it's another smoke screen. So ask for the business. Get another objection out of them. Well, hold on. Right? So Matt, hit me.
Yep. Well, hold on. I'd like to take a look in my email before making a decision.
Okay. Of course. Yeah, no problem. Let me send this out to you now, and I'm going to walk you through it and help answer any questions that you have. You in front of a computer, Matt?
I'm out and about right now.
They're going to keep they're going to keep making it difficult for you, right? But we're not taking no for an answer, right? Okay, you're out and about, no problem. Well, here's the deal. My goal is not just to save you money, Matt, on the best coverage possible. I also take a lot of pride in helping my customers save time. Do you have access to your email on your mobile device? Let me help you digest this information I've just sent you so you don't have to do it in your personal time. Can you go ahead and pull it up?
All right, let me take a look.
Disarming them, but also placing that value. Listen, if you're not going to do it now, what you're telling me is that you're going to go do it later, and you're going to do it on your off time. You get them thinking, am I going to set aside time to do this? Am I really going to think about this? Maybe I should just nip it now and just get it done because I don't want to spend my personal time doing this. Present that idea to them, and they might just say, yeah, let me pull it up. You're disarming them. I'm not in front of a computer? No problem. Let's pull it up on your phone. This isn't rocket science. This is insurance, right? This isn't something where we need to sit down and compute and run the numbers and this and that. Get an analyst, get a CPA. No, this is insurance. So allow me to save you time and be your expert. And I'm going to walk you through this email. I'm going to answer any questions that you have, and we're going to go ahead and get you the best coverage for your needs. I'm the man or woman for you, right? That is the conviction. Everything we talked about, like this, the whole point of this presentation is because we see a difference in the success of the agents. And the difference is confidence, conviction, pushing through those no's. You're getting the yeses when you push through the no's. Discouragement is a word that you need to throw out of your vocabulary. Don't get discouraged. If you get discouraged, do you think Steph Curry got discouraged? As he was growing up, he's a little shorter, right? His dad was an NBA player, and he has got a lot of high expectations. But he kept shooting in the gym. Balls are missing. He's missing. He's shooting. Klay Thompson, same thing. I'm a Warriors fan, so I use these analogies. Klay Thompson, he will go 1 for 10 in the first half and then go 7 for 10 in the second half. He never lets up. He's got ultimate confidence in himself. It may be irrational confidence, but maybe that's what we all need. This irrational confidence is what drives you to setting the tone, pushing yourself through, and at the end of the day, earning the business and helping that person. Because the only reason why we're all doing this, yes, we want to make money. Yes, we want to have a career. Yes, we want to get high on a sale. But we're doing this because we know at the end of the day, this is actually beneficial for this person. And that is an ultimate driver, an ultimate confidence builder in itself. So awesome. Do we have any questions here at this portion? Matt, are you? Did you see any questions come through?
Someone did want us to
Someone
go
has
back
to go back
to
on screen 10.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go back to screen 10 here. Oops. Jump to the fun stuff a little too early. Okay. So here is the verbiage for overcoming the email. Okay. So take a look at that, Elizabeth. Take a screenshot. Looking through some of these questions here now. It looks like we have a question about, oh my goodness, there's a lot of questions. Sorry, guys. When you are quoting off of their December pages and your quote is still considerably higher, then what? Bill, that's when I would dive into yourself as an agent in the brand, because at the end of the day, there's a reason why the name Allstate is on your brick and mortar. There's a reason that Allstate is the highest, claim satisfaction, and that the satisfactory rate from consumers are so high. There's a reason behind all that, and it's in my opinion, I think that yes, all those corporate things are fantastic, but you as an agent being attentive, caring, battling with claims, doing everything for that consumer, like that's something that should be translated more than what I'm hearing right now. So that would be a good response to your question.
Hey, Andrew, let me chime in real quick.
Sure,
this is
please.
right up my alley here at Craig Wiggins Coaching. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're not comparing apples to apples. We're not even comparing apples to oranges. We're comparing apples to filet mignon, or we're comparing Kias to Cadillacs. Now, don't be mad at me if you be driving a Kia. Kias are fine cars, but come on. I mean, a Cadillac versus a Kia. Y'all be very careful not to get matchy with customers. I honestly don't even want to look at their deck pages. I don't care what they have. I literally don't care what they have. Imagine if you went to a doctor for years and then that doctor retired, and you go to a new doctor, and that new doctor says, hey, let me just look up your old file. Yeah, all these prescriptions look good. I'll sign off on them. What? Without asking you any questions, without figuring out what you actually need today? Like, that's a bad doctor, y'all. Don't go see that doctor. So I just wanted to chime in real quick. I'm hoping that person that asked that question, and anybody else out there watching, that we're not just comparing coverages and deductibles and then hoping that we're less. What we teach at CWC is to lead with liability. That's the most important coverage on the policy. We fix their liability first, then we customize their other coverages and deductibles to meet their needs. We kind of go back and forth in a short conversation about each thing. And at the end, it's probably not going to be anywhere close to their current policy, nor will the price. And by the way, sometimes you will be able to give people higher limits, better coverages, even additional policies like an umbrella policy, which we are really big on at CWC. You might even be cheaper, y'all, than the crap they're paying for now. Excuse me, is crap a okay word to say in a call with hundreds of people? It's crap, y'all. You might be cheaper. You might be cheaper. Even then, ladies and gentlemen, please don't make a big deal about that. Rates change. So if you have a parade, oh my God, we're saving you $60 a month. Get ready in 6 months to have a conversation. Well, now it's $40 more. Why'd y'all go up? Well, rates change. And then in a year, we end up being more than what they were paying now. But y'all, we gave them the keys to a brand new Cadillac. They drove into our car lot in a 1997 Kia. It ain't the same thing. So I just wanted to mention that. Be careful comparing. Let's compare. There's nothing to compare. So I just wanted to chime in on that real quick on that one.
That is such a good point. That is such a good point. And you know what? Just to compare that to our industry, the leads industry, right? People say leads are leads. That's what we hear. And of course, Matt and I disagree with that. But let's just take the scenario that that's true. Let's just say leads are leads. It's the people that are really the big differentiator as well, because all of our competitors in the space, we all have different people. And in my opinion, I think that the people that care behind the wheel are the ones that are really going to drive you to success. And that's you. That's you as an agent. And if we can believe that, and we know that we are going to be the best agent for you and your needs, and I'm going to take the best care of you, that's what can be translated, maybe more than the product itself, right? But those points were amazing, Joseph. So thanks for kicking that in. Now let's switch a little bit of gears, and we're going to go to some fun stuff. We're going to talk about some specialized rates that we've worked out just for the CWC organization. So just a two cents here. So we are a lead generator. We own and operate our own web properties. We are not an aggregator, which a lot of our competitors, they'll go out and they buy leads and resell them. Not a bad business model. We just don't operate like that. So everything we do is from our own wheelhouse. UnitedStatesInsurance.com, SmartFinancial.com. We own and operate Illinois insurance, Nebraska insurance, Arizona, Nevada insurance, all these different web properties. And we're fielding inquiries from shoppers that go online. We're spending about $200 million this year to advertise in all these different ways to get people to click on our page. And we'll never, ever offer any incentives or gift cards or points for their video game. It's all insurance information. And at this point in time, we have worked with you guys to develop some extreme pricing discounts. So we're looking at just $350 for an unfiltered lead. If you want our heaviest filtered lead, we're only going to charge Craig Wiggins agents $7 per lead. And that has no major violations, that is currently insured, has a year prior continuous, has the homeowner filter, an age filter. We are working our butts off to get a high-priced lead that's high intent that we generate all in-house down as low as we can, so we can deliver on the absolute lowest acquisition cost that we possibly can, right? We don't have a contract. We don't have a long-term agreement. Agents typically throw about $1,000 to get a sample of leads, and then they see, hey, out of 200 leads or so, I was able to close 10 of them. I see the value in this. Let's keep it rolling, right? So at these price points, even if you're converting, let's say 3%, and you're paying what, $4 or $5 a lead, that's 6 policies out of $1,000, which, you know, can kind of make sense for a lot of agents when you've got your variable comp and, you know, your cost per item's around $200. That can make sense. So even in a poor scenario, these price points are making sense for the agents, and that's why, you know, we wanted to be able to offer this to you guys. Now, everybody on this call is eligible for these price points. You may be on Smart Financial's platform right now, since we invited our current client base to this meeting as well. If you're not receiving these price points, talk to your account manager, and we can offer these price points and add them on as a profile to your current account. They'll tell you, you know, the constituents of it. You got to take 10 leads per day. I mean, 10 leads per day usually isn't too many, so it's manageable, but consult with your account manager and they can add on one of these profiles. They are aware of these price points because I've introduced that to them this morning and let them know that we'll be offering this. So Matt's information here is on the bottom of the screen. Again, no contract, no long-term agreement. Everybody as well that signs up from this webinar is going to get $100 in free lead credit added on to their initial investment. So you got a great discount, got $100 in lead credit. And this training that we've done today is actually going to be built into our Smart Practice training. So Matt and I developed this training in the last month, you know, expecting this webinar, and we pulled a lot of our data from, you know, different places. But we are going to start integrating trainings like this on a weekly basis. So we do something called Smart Practice, and we already have an ongoing course, but we're going to start integrating this. We're going to integrate more, and we give value on a weekly basis, you know, just to help out with your sales and your acquisition costs, and try to add value as much as we possibly can. I think there's some questions. Let me get to the end of this so you guys can see Matt's contact info, and, you know, big thank you from Smart Financial. Big thank you to Craig Wiggins and Joseph Puckett for having us, and all the agents that are, you know, a part of the organization. So I got some more questions. So let's see, Robert, go ahead and hit me with your question. I see your hand raised. Thank you. If you want to chat it in, Robert, feel free. If you want to unmute, feel free.
I don't know if he can unmute or not.
Oh, okay.
How this works.
Maybe he's chatting something in. No worries.
I would have to make him a panelist or allowed to talk. Oh no.
Oh, okay. No worries.
I don't know what I'm doing here. Robert, test, raised hand. Let's see here. Oh, there you go.
There he goes. Hey, Robert.
Be able to unmute and ask your question. Maybe not. All right. That could be an accidental hand raise as well.
Could
We'll
be.
leave Robert in there. Brian wants to know if we're already with Smart Financial. Can we participate in this promotion?
Yes.
Did you already answer that? You
Yes.
might have already answered that.
Mhm,
And I see that you sent out your chats. Oh, hold on. Matthew, you sent that to host and panelists. Can you change that to send that to everyone, Matthew? Choose the little blue drop down, choose to send to everyone. Let's see here. What else do we have here? Will there be a copy of this presentation on the platform? George is my friend in Georgia. He's awesome.
I'd be
Can I get
happy to
this
send out the
PowerPoint?
slide deck to you,
Yeah,
Joseph, if you want to pump it out to the attendees.
that'll be perfect.
Sure.
That will be perfect. What else, y'all? Good
I saw some
stuff.
really great comments in there, guys, for people that are, not comparing apples to apples as apples to filet mignon and talking about themselves at the agency. And no, I love that. What do you say when they sign a new policy? Oh, Tim, that's a really good one. Like if they just said, hey, I just signed up with insurance this morning or something like that.
I think one of my favorite things that you say when you finish a policy is that you say, hey, I understand that this meets your needs right now, but I know that things change. So if you get married, if you have kids, if you move, if you get a new car, please let me know so that we can stay on top of your needs and provide you with the perfect coverage for what you need.
That's a good statement for if they just signed up with your insurance policy. But I think the question was, what if they had already signed up for insurance and then we called them and tried to sell our insurance? Which that was a great comment, Matt. But what we usually advise if someone just signed up for insurance, let's say this morning or yesterday, and you called them a little bit late, what I usually suggest and hear from the agents is, no problem. You know what? Good on you for getting insured. Allow me to do this. Let me run your coverage that you got, your needs through my wheelhouse. And I'll see what I can do. If I can do something better for you, better coverage for your needs at a better rate, you'll decide what to do. If I'm not better than what you're doing, we can part ways. And guess what? You're going to save some time. You never have to hear from Allstate again or Farmers or State Farm in the next 6 months or so. I'll put a note down, and you can save your time taking another call from an Allstate agent to get a quote, because we just ran your quote. We find out you're already doing great, and we'll talk to you in your next 6 months or a year. That way, it's a win-win. If you run their quote, you already have something better, or you do have something better and they want to switch. We know why that's a win. If you don't have something better, it's a win, because now they don't have to take any more calls from Allstate, and they know that you ran them through Allstate. What you have isn't meeting what they need, and we couldn't sell them, we couldn't value sell, whatever it is, it may happen. Then now that consumer is going to be saving time, right? They don't have to take any more calls from Allstate, and you could beat off, quote unquote. But what you did was you got a non-committal quote out, you've got them in your pipeline, you're trying and you're working and you're building your brand, and you're getting as many quotes out as you possibly can to be able to hit your goals. So I think we got a couple more questions here.
Hey, can I take this one?
Please,
Sam,
Joseph.
Sam says, I just started with my carrier last week. By the way, welcome. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here and able to join us. What's the best advice on gaining credibility? Well, to give a very short answer to that, it all comes down to your advice. If you walk away with nothing from today, everything boils down to your advice. You want to give credibility or gain credibility, give good advice. But first, before we can give good advice, we have to get to know our customers, right? We have to build rapport. Page 12 of the CWC scripts is our build rapport script, where we get to know about their family, occupation, their dreams, their goals and objectives. That way, on page 13 of the CWC scripts, where we lead with liability, we can relate to something that we uncovered that matters to them. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Get to know your customers by building good rapport. Sam, that will help you build credibility, and then give them the best advice that you can give. Your advice, ladies and gentlemen, your advice is worth the price. It is. What else we got? Andrew, Matthew, anything else you want to jump on?
I just want to reiterate again that pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is the name of this game. Because when you're a new producer, when you're maybe even new to sales, it's a challenge to do that. I mean, it's a challenge to say things that maybe people, I guess my point is that too many times do I hear people getting cold feet when they should be saying the right thing. And it's because they're afraid of what the response may be, or they're afraid of rejection, or they might be afraid of losing the sale. Have you guys ever heard that? I'm afraid of losing the sale. How could you lose something that you don't have yet? You can't. So the advice and the whole context of this presentation is to push until you can't push no more, in the right ways, though. I mean, we're respectful, professional, and having the needs of the consumer on the forefront, right? Because this is not about us. And if we make it about us because we're pushing because we want a sale or this or that, we just lost, right? So it's about the consumer. Put that need on the forefront, but don't give up. Push until you can't push no more. Push like a mother in labor, right? And I'll end it on that.
Well, here's what I'll say. A lot of times producers say, Joseph, I don't want to feel like I'm being pushy. Here's what I say. You're not being pushy. You're being a professional. You're being a professional, right? We're solving problems. If I were to summarize what we all do at our agency, whether you're primarily sales or primarily service, or maybe you're blessed and do both, maybe you're an agency manager or an agency owner or principal out there, I believe that everybody's role at the agency can be summarized in terms of what we do for our customers in one sentence. Our job is very simple. Our job is to put us in position to help our customers when they need us. Our job is to protect our customers. See, y'all, we can't go back in time and write a policy that was never written or fix a policy that was wrong. We got to take care of them today so that in weeks to come, months to come, years to come, hopefully never, but your customers will have claims, y'all. When that time comes, we got them. We've got them. Now, he asked this question a couple of times. I know we need to go here in a second, but James asked this a couple of times. Some companies are not allowing us to write monoline business. We have to have a supporting policy. Any advice on those looking for a monoline policy? I'll tell y'all what I say, but I might be interested in what Andrew or Matthew say. Someone says, well, I really just want the home quote, or I really just want the auto quote or something like that. Oh, yes, Mr. Customer, you know what? I'm so excited. You're excited to do business with us. And yes, sir, we're going to take a look at that home. You gotcha. But to make sure I get everything put together just right, we're also going to take a look at those cars, give you all the discounts that we can, make sure you got the right coverages. In fact, I'm almost done. So tell me more real quick. What types of cars do you park in that garage? Or tell me more about that home. Zillow says it's 3,400 square feet with 3 bathrooms. Is that right? By the way, gorgeous front door. Is that a wraparound porch? Slap me silly and give me some sweet tea. That's what I'd say in Alabama. Give me some sweet tea to drink on that wraparound porch. Are you kidding me? That's a gorgeous house. Is it 3,400 square feet? Y'all just assume the quote. Assume the quote of the other line. And if you have to bundle, then sure. You can also then say, well, if they just say, I just want the one or the other. Okay, Mr. Customer, I understand. But right now, the insurance marketplace is kind of tight. It's kind of tight in terms of what companies are willing to write. The great news is we got your home. All we got to do is the cars as well. Or we've got your cars. All we got to do is the home as well. I want all of y'all to imagine that all of your companies require bundling. Seriously, y'all, excuse me. I'm about to choke myself up, y'all. I'm preaching. I'm preaching the word of CWC, y'all. I'm going to start coughing here in a minute. We have a saying here at Craig Wiggins Coaching, and our agencies that we had, Craig Wiggins agencies and the agencies we work with, we don't want to be one of their agents. We want to be the agent. The agent. So I just wanted to mention that to him. Anything else you want to jump on real quick?
That was smoother than a baby's bottom, man. I mean, but it's not just about what you're saying, Joseph. Like, what you're saying has the conviction behind it and the confidence behind it that you cannot say no to that auto quote. And that's the point here, is like, you're saying all the right things, but the way that you're saying it is, it's impossible to reject that auto quote. And I would just add to it by saying, leverage the fact that they're already looking for insurance in one area to put value on insurance in other areas, right? They obviously see the need for insurance in one area. If they're seeing the need for insurance in one area, translate that over. Did you know that I acknowledge, I think you're very smart for looking into home insurance because of XYZ. This is why people look into this insurance too, right? for the same reasons that you're looking into the home insurance. Can you see that being beneficial for you? And, you know, you might even get a better rate if we can do this and XYZ, right? So I think that was amazing. Man, I want to be an agent.
Too. That was smoother than my baby's
No.
butt. Did you say I was smooth as a baby's bottom? Is that what you said a minute ago?
I did.
Okay, I like that, man. I do want to say something else now that we're talking about bottoms. Y'all, it's fine, right? We're cool. This isn't like a corporate call, right? This is cool. Here's what I jokingly tell my teams that I'm training and the members at Craig Wiggins Coaching when we're overcoming objections, and I love all of your scripts. Don't lead with your butts. Don't lead with your butts. But, Mr. Customer, we're better. But. Always be kind of like agreeable. Oh, sure. Hey, I understand. Yeah, I get it. And I like how Andrew's script said that. You know, they were all always kind of agreeable. We'd never want to be argumentative with a customer. Y'all, I've been married for 17 years. I've been with my wife since we were 16 years old. You know, we were high school sweethearts. So for 23 years, hell, we grew up together. I've known her for over 30 years. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen out there, I got to tell you something. In all these many decades I've been with my gorgeous smoking hot wife, I've never won an argument once, y'all. Not even once. Even when I'm right, y'all, I've never won an argument. And by the way, that's a lie. I win sometimes. You know what, y'all? With a customer or prospect, I've never won an argument. Always be kind of agreeable, you know, not argumentative, but be careful leading with your butts. Be agreeable. Be agreeable when you overcome objections. No one ever wants to be in an argument. You know, sometimes customers don't want to feel like they're wrong. Aren't we stubborn human beings? You know, we don't like feeling like we've made a mistake or we're doing the wrong thing or whatever. So that's why I just say always be kind of agreeable. Never make the customer feel dumb. Never make them feel wrong. Let's just try to show them our way and let's keep them going. Let's keep that conversation flowing. You know, guys, you're going to get more no's. I asked this from stage at our events, and everybody that's been to our event knows what to say. And I can always tell if someone's brand new to CWC. I'll ask from stage or a webinar. Every no gets you closer to, and then everybody in the audience says another no. But then I'll hear a yes, and they're like, "Oh shoot, I gave the wrong answer." See, I illustrate this, y'all. You're going to get more no's than yeses. You're going to get more no's than yeses. Every no gets you closer to another no and another no and another no, then a yes. Just keep that in mind, y'all. If you play baseball and you can hit the ball one time out of 4, you're a millionaire. Think about how many shots your favorite basketball players miss, how many catches your favorite receivers miss. They miss. Even your favorite teams lose a few games. Now, I'm not very familiar with that as a Bama fan. We've only lost like 10 games in the past 10 years, but y'all, we're about to start losing a lot more now that Nick Saban quit. He's gone, y'all. He left us. He's a quitter. I'm just kidding. I love you, Coach Saban. I pray to him every morning. I'm kidding, y'all. But anyways, y'all, people need to be okay with no. Team members out there, if a customer hangs up on you, don't take it personally. Honestly, they just did you a favor. I love classic films. Andrew and Matthew, there's a classic film. I believe it's from the late 90s. And I just love films. I'm just a film buff. I think this won some Oscars. It's called Dumb and Dumber. You ever seen Dumb and Dumber? It's a classic. The classic film, Dumb and Dumber. But y'all know at the end, when he's talking to Miss Samsonite or whatever her real name is in the hotel room, and she's like going on and on and on about how not in a million years, it's not going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, he says, "So you're saying there's a chance?" Y'all, I want to know that there's no chance. I want a customer prospect to say, "Stop calling me. I'm not interested. I'm never coming to your company. My uncle's my insurance agent. The head deacon at my church is my insurance agent. I can't switch. A church would be weird." I'd rather somebody tell me no than just keep ignoring my calls and emails. Y'all, be okay with no. Embrace no. Get excited for no because it's getting you closer to another no, then another no, then a yes. Guys, any final thoughts from y'all? We could go all day, but we can't.
We could go all day, but we shouldn't. How about that? I think there was one more question. Maybe we can. I'll just give my 2 cents on this question from Danielle. When coming off a really hot month and into a slower month, how do you keep that momentum going? For your production staff, you know what's funny, because I may be giving too much clarity here, but we're dealing with something similar to that. We had a great December, right? Last December, we were creating urgency. We had end of the year deals, discounts, all that kind of stuff. And then January slowed down a little bit. What did we do? We introduced a lot of gamification contests for our producers. excitement, spinning the wheel. What we also did was we implemented something called a manager assist. And maybe at your agency, this can work where you're actually hopping on the phone to be a second voice for your producer. And I'm sure that's probably built into a lot of your agencies, but doing the manager assist as maybe the agent owner or the office manager, the top sales producer, to go on and help this person, show them what success looks like. And guess what? Those top producers, they're usually creating urgency, and that urgency is how you can pick up the momentum for the month. What I decided that we were going to do to pick up January was we ran a promotion for this last week. So yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we're running an amazing promotion that our sales reps are really excited about themselves, and they are pumping out calls, and they're telling gatekeepers that this is the best thing in the world and that the agent needs to hear about it. And that is my advice, is I would create urgency, build some gamification, do some extra training, and meet with your team and find out what their challenges are and help dive into those challenges. And I'm positive that they can all benefit from learning more from Joe and Craig and watching these videos, and it can only be beneficial. So get them more engaged in sales activities. So with that, maybe we will close out and wish everybody, a happy sales day, a happy Tuesday. Hopefully people get some tacos tonight, and we can celebrate this new year of 2024.
Taco Tuesday. Well, thank you to our friends at Smart Financial. Y'all, these are very budget-friendly leads. Great opportunity to give you more chances to win. We just need more at-bats, y'all. We just need more at-bats. If we step up to the plate more, guess what? We will strike out more, but we'll also hit some base hits. We'll hit some home runs. We'll hit some grand slams. So if your agency's out there looking for some really budget-friendly leads, I would encourage y'all to reach out to Matthew. It's Matt at SmartFinancial.com. Reach out. Let's just try them out. I will say this: don't just try leads for 2 or 3 weeks. You got to give a vendor at least 2 or 3 months at a minimum. And the guys might even say longer or shorter. I don't know. But sometimes people turn on a new lead source and they buy like 30 of them to work through in 1 week. And they're like, these were crap. I only quoted 4 of them. Y'all, that's not enough time. So these are very budget friendly leads. I encourage y'all to reach out to take advantage. And I appreciate y'all. This is really good training. Really, really good training. I appreciate y'all bringing this to our network. And I was so excited to know that you invited your network. Y'all, if I can help you in any way, if you have questions about Craig Wiggins Coaching, feel free to reach out to me. It's Joseph at CraigWigginsCoaching.com, or check us out at CraigWigginsCoaching.com. But with that said, thank you, Andrew and Matthew, for your time and your talents today. I know we went a little long, but it was good. It was good. Good job, guys. Good job,
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we've got policies to write and people to protect, goals to crush. So get off this call, pick up the phone, y'all, call somebody, quote them, and close them. And now you'll be a little bit more prepared to handle the most common objections that you get. So thank you, guys. Thank you all. Now let's get back to work. Y'all have a great rest of the day. Let's finish the month strong. Let's finish the month strong, gang. We'll see you all in a live training very soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.